You can go ahead and unmute yourself.
What's up? To be honest, I didn't even expect you to put me in here. I really don't even know what this space is about. I just clicked on it because somebody I follow
You didn't see
tweeted
the
it.
ti- You didn't see the title?
I do see the title. I do see the title.
Okay.
Black people be trusted by the young. I'm a young black person. To be honest, certain older black people, yes, like my friend's dad, I trust him a lot. My own dad, I trust
Why?
him because in the instance with my friend's dad, he was really successful. He's black. He
Well,
owned a
define really successful.
He had a nice, big, nice house in the suburbs, and then not in any just suburb, in like a really nice suburb. Um, owned owned a McDonald's. Had a nice job. His wife did not have to work, but she still worked because she was pretty successful in her own right. So yeah, I think if given the right circumstances, see, I come from the suburbs. Yeah, I could trust a lot of the black people, older black people that's around me.
And what city are you in?
I'm in Illinois, near Chicago. I always lived in the surrounding Chicago suburbs.
Okay, well, you in Riverside?
No, I'm in DuPage County.
Okay. Um, Here's the thing, brother. That's really great and wonderful about your friend's dad and your dad and whatnot. Here's where the rubber meets the road. What are they doing? What have they passed down to you? Because you're a grown man at this point. How old
Yeah,
are you?
22.
Okay, you're 22 years old. Take a look, or do you consider yourself to be on par with your 22-year-old white, Asian, Arab, and Latino counterparts?
To a certain degree, but in some ways, no.
Okay, how do you consider yourself to be on par with them?
Well, I'm on par. I graduated high school in 2018. I'm on par to graduate college with a decent degree that is not useless. It is a useful degree. 2022. I'm class of 2022. Um, a well educated, well read, on par. I'm moving into my own
So,
part.
I mean, listen to what you're saying there.
Okay.
So you consider your non-black counterparts. You think that what makes you on par with them is, well, I'm getting a degree, I have an apartment. I didn't hear anything in there about resources. I didn't hear anything in there about anything that's being passed down to you. I
Yeah, like
heard about what you're doing firsthand. I didn't hear anything about how the previous generation is giving you a helping hand because your
oh
non-black counterparts, they're being given resources. They're not having to go to, you're talking about getting a degree. What they need to do doesn't require a degree. They're going to college as a perfunctory formality.
yeah, yeah. So in that, you're definitely right. I am not getting passed down anything. I work for everything I have, and
Right.
yeah,
So you're not on par with them.
not on
You
par in
you
that way.
you have some older black folks. I want you to recognize the difference here. And like I say, this isn't a. I'm not saying go grab your dad by his beard and go yank him out and drag him down the street. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is, I want you to be honest with yourselves about what actually constitutes doing something for the next generation. Doing
Yeah,
something for the next generation is not, listen to me, it is not being a super cool, groovy dad who showed up for the basketball games and pats you on the back and does the father knows best thing. Being a person who's passing something that the young people can trust means that he's got your back with resources, that there are tangibles, there's a bank account, there's an annuity, there is an investment specifically set aside for you, so that when you come of age, this will be waiting for you. I mean, I've been all over Chicago, so it doesn't matter what you're talking about, what the Russians are, the Chinese are. It doesn't matter where you're talking about. And that's really the most segregated city in America, most starkly segregated. One side of the street is one race, the other side of the street's another one. It's literally broke up like that. And what I'm saying is, the only difference between you all and Chinatown is it's obvious what's being passed down over there from one generation to the other. When you walk into a store and you see 10-year-olds working the cash register, 12-year-olds, 14-year-olds, you can see what they're getting. You don't have to wonder or guess. It doesn't matter if they go to college or if they don't. If they're in college, it doesn't matter if they get their degree or if they don't. That's not what they're depending on. So, as Black people, you're taught that you are supposed to compete. What I'm telling you is that, yeah, it's a free market, but competition is a sin in along ethnic lines. You're not supposed to force your children to compete. Asians don't force their children to compete against you. White folk don't force their children to compete against you. That's always the last alternative. That is the last option, is direct competition. When they meet you, the game is already rigged in their favor. And what I'm saying is, I want you all to understand what really matters. These folk got you all thinking, oh, well, you ain't going to be eating off me. Think about that for a few moments. These other folk make sure their children got a whole plate and a whole buffet waiting for them. And meanwhile, the Black kids are taught dad's really super cool and groovy, even though dad's passed nothing down. Nothing.
I agree. I completely agree, man. I wish I had some shit
What
passed
kind of
down.
car? What kind of car does your dad drive?
He drives. I mean, I don't want to give up his car, but his car is about
Well, nobody,
30.
nobody knows, brother. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows.
He drives. He got a couple cars. Let's just say he got 3 cars, all nice cars.
3 cars.
Yes.
He can't drive but one at a time, but he got 3 cars. So he wants to make sure that the car matches his shoes. He don't want to be, clashing
I'm
when he
just being
leaves.
honest. Yeah, he got 3 cars.
Now you talked about your dad. That's great. What about your mom?
My mom, what kind of car does she drive?
Is she still with him?
No, no, no. They've been separated for like
Okay.
12 years.
How many kids does he have? Keep it real.
4 kids, same
But
parents. We all got the same parents, same mom and dad.
okay. Well, definitely, like I say, I certainly hope that things work out well for you in that regard. But going forward, I want you to have a clear, accurate definition of what doing something for you is.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
it
yeah.
literally means that he spent his life building up resources because that's supposed to be your legacy. Your legacy is supposed to be stocks, bonds, annuities, investments. What the hell were you doing walking this earth for 60, 70, 80 years? And when you die, there's nothing but air to pass on to your children. That's a sin.
Mm-hmm.
That is what leaves you vulnerable to police brutality, gentrification, redlining, subprime mortgages. We can go down the list. That's what leaves you vulnerable to all that. They hate you because you're Black, but they're able to victimize you because you're poor. They
Yep.
might hate you, but just understand it's going to be a hell of a lot harder to victimize somebody who's got resources than somebody who doesn't. That's the position I want you to think about it from. So going
Yeah, that,
forward, that might be a good conversation for you to have. It's like, yeah, Dad, I couldn't notice there's 3 cars out there. By the way, that's great for you.
yeah,
What's this going to do for me?
yeah.
Because how does this prepare me? Because like right now, you're going to college. Did you
Mm-hmm.
take out a loan?
No, 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 no.
Well, at least you don't have that hanging over your head. But when you get there, bro, just understand your white counterparts. That there's a reason why a business, business management degree works. It does, but only if you have a business that's going to promote you. So you got to already know where you're going. Other than that, it doesn't do you any good. So definitely keep an eye on that going forward, and don't be afraid to have those discussions because that's a very, very important thing, not just for you and your dad, but for you and your sons
I was gonna
to
say
make
that's
sure it's
that's a
very
little more
clearly
beneficial
defined.
for me. I was gonna say that's a little more beneficial for me because my dad is he's stuck in his ways.
There you go. There you
That's
go.
better for me to hear because I do agree. Like, man, my some of my friends they don't have to go to college and they just go there because it's like it's something predetermined for you as being from a community that just it's like they don't have a choice to go to college. It's like you know what I mean. Like they go to college just because their parents send them to college. That's just
Listen to me. In Black society, people send the old folk in Black society tell their young folk to go to quote go to college because they ain't got a plan for you. They
mm-hmm.
don't know what to do with you. They don't know what to do with you. They don't know what to tell you. They don't know where to tell you to go. So their only thing is, well, hell, nigga, go to college. Figure it out when you get there. It used to be going to the military. That's what they used to tell you. About when they had the draft, you didn't have to be told. You just had to go. But now it's, well, go to college and figure it out. And that's not a plan.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a plan. So I want y'all to understand when you get told that, it's like, okay, I hear what's going on here. And you can go grab an MBA or whatever. It really doesn't help them if you don't actually have a place that's prepared already. So one way or the other, the bottom line is the people who had something prepared for them while they were in elementary school, they're always going to have a head start on you, a
Yeah.
huge head start. And the real thing is, Dr. Claude Anderson said it is criminal to do this to black children because you can never catch up. You'll never catch up to somebody who's got 1,000-mile head start on you. You're sitting there in
Mm-hmm.
class while he's already being shown how to manage $250,000, half a million, $1 million in wealth
Some of them
and how
already.
to maintain it.
Some of them are already people I went to school with. Some white boy I went to school with. We got along very well. We were friends, and he has a business, but that's from his parents investing in the business so he can create a store for the business. He has 2 stores now. We sat right next to each other. You know what I'm saying? We're literally friends. So I get what you mean for sure, and that definitely is more valuable, for me to hear it than my own dad or something.
Redefine that. Just going
Yeah.
forward is not disrespectful. It's time to clearly define what it means for the older generation to, quote, do something for you. Do something is not patting you on the back and saying, attaboy at college. Doing something is, what have you done to prepare me, your heir? Because what good does it do for you to be an heir and there's nothing to inherit?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for joining us here, brother. It's been good speaking with you. Let me go ahead and see. Okay. Protected